children, in this video we are going to discuss about right angle triangle and Pythagoras property. What is a right angle triangle? The triangle with one right angle is right angle triangle. In short, we can say it as right triangle also. So any triangle can have only one right angle. A triangle cannot have two right angles. Otherwise, a triangle cannot have one right angle, one obtuse angle also. Definitely in a right angle triangle, one right angle will be there and the other two are acute angles. Means less than 90 degrees. Okay. So a triangle with one right angle is called right angle triangle. Now coming to the parts of right angle triangle, means any triangle has three sides, all of us know, but particular names we have in a right angle triangle. So the side opposite to right angle is called hypotenuse. The side opposite to right angle. So here at B right angle is formed. For B the opposite side is AC. So AC is hypotenuse. Then what about the other two? These two are called legs of the right triangle. Legs. So here actually BC is the base and AB is the perpendicular drawn to the base. So base and the perpendicular both are called legs. Otherwise just we can say two sides also. But hypotenuse means the side opposite to right angle. Other two are two legs of the right angle triangle. And if you draw few right angle triangles and if you check, definitely in all the right angle triangles, the longest side will be the hypotenuse only. Okay. So for any right angle triangle, the longest side is hypotenuse. So the longest side in right triangle is hypotenuse. In that way also we can define hypotenuse. Okay. This is about right angle triangle. Children, actually our next topic is Pythagoras property. But definitely to understand Pythagoras property, you need to know few basics about squares and square roots. Okay. Actually this topic is there in your grade 8. But now you need the basics of this concept to understand Pythagoras property. Okay. So let us learn some points about squares. By multiplying the number by itself, we get the square numbers. Okay. By multiplying the number by itself, we get the square number. So how it is? Example I am giving. Just 1 square means 1 into 1, that is 1. 2 square, that is 2 into 2, 4. 3 square is 3 into 3, 9. 4 square, 4 into 4, 16. 5 square, 5 into 5, 25. So like that, x into x is x square, y into y is y square, even that. X into x, x square, a into a square. So variables are the numbers, anything multiplied by itself. Then we get the square of that. So here, hope you understood this part. So the number which we get by multiplying the number by itself, okay, is called square number. So all the numbers are not square numbers. Here if you see 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. Next one is 36, 49. These are the square numbers. Okay. So in between 1 and 4, no other perfect square is there. Just like that, in between 4 and 9, no other perfect square is there. These are the perfect square numbers. Okay. Now one more point also you have to remember, that is the reverse operation of squaring is square root. The reverse of square is square root. And the symbol for square root is this one. You have to read it as square root. So here if you see 3 square is 3 into 3, 9. So the same in reverse, what can we write is root 9 equal to 3. Okay. Here also 4 square equal to 16. So square root of 16 is actually, in this way we can write square root of 4 into 4. 16 is 4 into 4. So from two equal factors, one factor we have to write whenever you are finding the square root. Just like that, even here square root of 25 equal to square root of 5 into 5. Okay, that is 5. So square root of 25 is 5, square root of 16 4, square root of 9 3, and square root of 1 1, square root of 4 2. So in this way the reverse operation of square is square root. Okay, so this all we are going to use in Pythagoras property. Let us learn how to find the square root also, since we need it, okay, in doing the sums related to Pythagoras property. So how to find the square root is by prime factorization method. That prime factorization method already you know. In finding the HCF, LCM, in all these you used by prime factorization method. So one example I will give. So here finding the square root of 81. Okay, simple number I have taken. Finding the square root of 81. So for 81 now we have to do prime factorization. Prime factorization means what? Writing the number as the product of its prime factors. Expressing the number as the product of its prime factors is called prime factorization. So here for 81, what is the prime factor? We can take 3, 27 times. Now again 3 we can take 9 times. Now again 3 we can take. So 3 3s are. So until we get prime number we have to continue the process. So now 81 equal to 3 into 3 into 3 into 3. So what we need to do to find the square root of 81 is make the pairs of equal factors. So we had 2 pairs of 3's we got. Okay. So square root of 81 means from each pair you have to take one number. So from this pair 1 3 and from this pair 1 3. So 3 3s are 9. Actually for simple numbers like 81, definitely we can recall the tables and immediately we can say what is the square root of 81. But definitely if large numbers are there, then we have to do prime factorization to find the square root. Okay. So here one more example I will give, that is maybe 225. Okay. Just for example 225. So here for 225 we have to do prime factorization. Here 5 you can take, otherwise 3 also you can take. So here I want to take 3. Okay. Now in 22, 7 3s are 21, 1 is the remainder, 15, 5. Now also again you can take 3 or 5. So here I want to take 3. Now 2 3s are 6, 1 is the remainder, 15, 5. Now we can take 5. Okay. Now 225 equal to 3 into 3 into 5 into 5. Here is like this. Okay. So now pairs of equal factors. 3 into 5 you cannot make pair. So here 3 into 3, 5 into 5, like that exact pairs of equal factors we have to make. So square root of 225. Now we have to find out. Then what to do? From each pair one factor we have to take, and from this 5 pair also we have to take 1 5. So 3 5s are 15. Here you may get doubt that if you won't get the exact pairs of equal factors, what you have to do, isn't it? But here actually for square numbers definitely you get equal pairs of factors. If it is not a square number, then you will not get the exact pairs. Okay, that is not the square number. Understood now? So if it is a square number, if it is a perfect square, then definitely exact pairs you will get. Otherwise it is not a square number. Now let us learn Pythagoras property. So here Pythagoras property is applicable only for right angle triangles. This is a special property that is applicable for only right angle triangles. Okay. So what is that we will see. So here if you see in the right triangle, here AB and BC are the 2 legs in this figure, and AC is the hypotenuse, the side opposite to right angle, that is hypotenuse. Okay. So the square of the hypotenuse is equal to sum of squares of its legs. Okay, that is Pythagoras property. What is that? The square of the hypotenuse is equal to sum of squares of its legs. So here how can we write for this figure? AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. Okay. So here in another way also we can write this. So here hypotenuse if you want, the other two sides lengths if you know, and if you have to find the hypotenuse, just from this only we can write in this way. AC equal to square root of AB square plus BC square. This is Pythagoras property. Pythagoras property was given by ancient Greek mathematician Pythagoras. Right triangle is the most significant triangle since the relation between the sides and angles of right triangle is the basis of trigonometry. Trigonometry is one of the most important and interesting topics which you are going to learn in your higher grades. And there are many proofs of Pythagoras property. Just one of the proofs we are going to discuss now. Children, now let us prove Pythagoras property. Here I have taken a right angle triangle. The hypotenuse is C and the other two legs are A and B. So here I constructed a square on the hypotenuse and as well as on the two legs. Now let us find the areas. So from the figure if you observe, the length of the hypotenuse is 5 units and the other two legs lengths are 3 units and 4 units. Now let us take the area of the square constructed on the hypotenuse, that is 5 square. 5 into 5, 25 square units. Now the area of square constructed on the leg A is 3 square, that is 9 square units. Just like that, the other square area is 4 square, that is 16 units. From this we can say that 3 square plus 4 square equal to 5 square, that is hypotenuse square. Pythagoras property has many applications in real life. Few fields are architecture, construction works, navigation, finding the height of objects like tree, building, etc., and to find the diagonal length in rectangle and square. If 3 sides of a triangle satisfy Pythagoras property, then they form right angle triangle. So sums based on this we are going to do in the next video. Thank you.